Hey everyone, and welcome to the results video of multiplayer round 65. In this round all the players had to build something on a plot themed to the Misery Marsh, which is an area in Imagination Megapark. So this area is very dark. You can see there's this black ground. There's very dark foliage and ruins as well, but also some hints of magenta, for example in this swamp. And we can see some flames here on top of these ruins. And yeah, some more foliage also in the purple color. So that's basically what the players had to work with. And of course I also supplied some images from Imagination Megapark to the players. Anyway, I'm going to show you all the 14 finished plots that were created. I will start with the one that got the lowest score, and I'll finish by announcing who is the winner of this round. Okay, in 14th place we have this entry from 2IQ. I will use the cutaway view here. Now over here we can see some here we can see some dark areas. So you can see lots of swamp here, lots of the magenta bubbling goo. There's this coaster going around with these shark trains. Kind of looks like the spine of the fish. I think that's pretty cool. Here we can see a lower area with some boats going around. Not really sure what this area is supposed to represent. It looks like an area with red sand and some round trees. Yeah, I saw some comments from players that they found it a little bit difficult to find the overarching theme in this plot. It all seems a bit like random ideas put together in one plot. So yeah, maybe if the theme was a little bit more cohesive, it probably would have scored a little bit better. Alright, next up is the plot from 73. And let's use the cutaway view. No, his usual style. I think it works actually pretty well in this theme. Because looking from all his entries, he loves these colors, black and magenta. Yeah, a very chaotic plot with a very chaotic coaster as well, which has some invisible parts here for some reason. Lots of scenery spam, but overall, yeah, I think the spam isn't even that. Yeah, let's just say it looks pretty nice actually in some parts. I've definitely seen worse. It's still a little bit of a random mess of objects, but it does look appealing in some ways. So yeah, nice job from 73. Alright, the next plot is right next door from Redarius. And Redarius also made a swampy area, but it has this big monster in it with all these tentacles. You can see it right over here with these eyes. I think that's really cool. I also really like how all these tentacles are done. And it looks like this tentacle monster is holding a big container here, which also serves as the station for this coaster which travels over these tentacles. I really like the way this container was done. It's also fun watching this coaster travel around over all these tentacles. Pretty nicely done, I think. Right, next up is the plot from Levels. Let me quickly use the cutaway view on this. There we go. Oh, I think I actually included too much. Let's do like this. Alright, this looks better. Yeah, in this plot from Levels, we can see several ruins. Also more of the swamp. Something which I saw earlier was that the swamp areas here are very rectangular. And probably this could have been smoothed out a little bit. Maybe with some height differences, with some scenery to the side. Yeah, I do like the ruins here in the middle. I think that's pretty nice. I believe this also serves as the station for the coaster. Yeah, that's actually pretty cool. Coaster also pretty nice. It uses the new Giga Coaster track. It's very bright though for this area. Maybe it could have been toned down a little bit. I probably would have used maybe the bone color for both. It probably already would have been a little bit better in my opinion. Something which I think Levels also spent quite a lot of time on is this sculpture here in the sky. Not really sure what this is, but it looks pretty spooky. There's a triangle and forehead. And also used these Cyclops vehicles to make eyes. I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, I really like this face, and it's using these diagonal track pieces to only make it visible from one angle. Yeah, I think the sculpture's pretty cool. I think this plot itself could have used a little bit more love and care. Right, next plot is right next door. This is the entry from Bags. Bags also made a nice little plot. There's this ride with hardline twister vehicles traveling around on this swamp river. I think that's pretty cool. They're called hovercrafts. Maybe it would have been nice to use the River Styx boats, which are a boat from one of the expansions. I think they would have fit pretty well on this plot. Now, I really like this ride that Bags made over here. It's called Destruction Derby. I believe it's a ride from Zamperla, if I'm not mistaken. These boats actually travel in a figure 8 route over this track. I think that's really nicely done. I like how close these boats get to each other. So yeah, quite a nice shoestring, I think. Overall, I think the one thing that held this plot back a little bit is maybe an eye catcher somewhere in the plot. Yeah, if my plot is in the multiplayer content is very low, I usually like to include something like a launched freefall or some other tall ride, and it's usually good to have a real eye catcher on the plot, I think. But yeah, overall, I think it's a pretty nice plot, and I really like this ride. Okay, here's the plot from Low Poly. Low Poly made this wooden coaster over here. I think it's a really nice looking wooden coaster. Maybe the colors are a little bit too bright for the Misery Marsh. Personally, I probably would have given it black supports, while I would have to repaint all these elements too. Maybe the magenta. In my opinion, this just makes the plot blend in a little bit nicer. Of course, that's just my opinion. But overall, yeah, I think the wooden coaster looks pretty nice. Nice looking station as well. I like how it's situated here in these ruins. And I also really like the landscaping here. I think these towers with the flames on top also look really cool. So yeah, a really nice decoration on the rest of this plot. Alright, then we head to this corner of the map. This is the plot from Max Arceus. He made this really cool, looks like some sort of facility. And here on top we have some sort of kind of like a Eurofighter coaster, but a little bit more extreme beyond vertical. More like one of those fairground rides with this... yeah, there's a fairground ride which is pretty tall and also has a drop like this. Although the real one is tiny on the top. But yeah, I think it's actually pretty fitting for a park like this. It's pretty nicely done. Although with a beyond vertical section this large, the coaster of course will be on top here for quite a while. So yeah, it does hurt the illusion a bit, I think. But yeah, I think it's pretty funny to include. And here we can see a big loop. It looks like this pipe actually only travels through the loop from some angles. Here it's completely different. But yeah, that's not Max Arceus' fault, but it is quite interesting, I think. I think it's a really cool looking building here. I really like this factory-like style. That's really nice. You can also see some big ruins here. I think they also fit in pretty nicely. The road here, maybe a little bit too bright for this theme. Maybe it would have been nice to replace this just with some different style blocks. Maybe from the future set would have been nice. I think they would fit in pretty nicely here. Like so. I think this would have been a nice path style. But yeah, overall, I think this plot looks really cool. I believe this is also Max Arceus' his first shoestring. That's also pretty nice to see. They grow up so fast. Right, here's the plot from Ball Pit Warrior. Now he went for a completely different theme. So this, I believe this is some sort of album cover. 3 Days Grace 1X. Now I'm not too familiar with this, so I'm not really sure what this is, but someone in the comments can probably point me in the right direction. But yeah, what I do see on the plot actually looks really cool. You can see what looks like a CD player over here. People my age will remember these. You can see Some music instruments here. Looks like a keyboard. Also see a big dragon over here, which is dropping some liquid from its mouth. And there's also a coaster which travels around on this plot, kind of like a family boomerang. I also really like how this path is done. Looks like some sort of music sheet. Yeah, very musical plot. Lots of different decorations. We can also see a guitar over here. So yeah, I think this is a really cool looking plot. Lots of cool decorations. But of course, it doesn't really tie in with the Misery Marsh in any way. So yeah, I think for something that doesn't really fit in the theme, it got a really good score, because everything here just looks amazing. Okay, next up is the plot from Lurker. Now, what I really like about Lurker is that he made this plot pretty much in 1 day or 2 days. And yeah, he just put this together really quickly, even though his internet connection is usually terrible. So I think it's all the more impressive that he was able to put this together so quickly. So the coaster over here, it's called the Bone Zone. Yeah, of course, it has this bone color, which makes it fitting to this theme. You can also see some bones thrown around in this plot. Very dark foliage, also a little swamp here in the middle. And over here, there's this castle, which kind of looks like it has been thrown together. But yeah, I think it's done in a nice way. More bone decorations. We can see some skulls here. More foliage tied in. Now, I do think it looks a little bit thrown together. It looks a little bit rushed, but I think it's very impressive what Lurker put together here in such a short time. Right, next plot is from In Error, Predicting a Fault. He made this really cool looking plot in the corner. We can see a inverted impulse coaster over here. I think these supports are done really nicely. I really like that. There's a twist on both sides. But yeah, I think it's really fun watching this ride travel around here on this plot. Now we can also see overgrown theater over here. Now I really like this. I think it looks great here in this style. It says Heathcliff, it's me, I'm Kathy. Not really sure. I believe this plot had lots of references to Kate Bush songs or something. But yeah, once again, I'm not too familiar with all the lore here. But yeah, what I do know is that it's a really cool looking plot. I think it looks amazing, and it's just really fun to watch. Right, next plot is my plot. I also joined in this round. And I made this coaster here called the Night Stalker. The story was something that the Night Stalker slumbers somewhere deep in the forest of the Misery Marsh. And when it's awake, it ravages the forest, or it runs across the lands, and burning everything in its wake, leaving destruction and stuff. So yeah, that's kind of represented also in this coaster. You can see the coaster traveling through the woods, and in some areas, some helixes, you can see the land scorched with these crimson flames. So yeah, I tried to use a bit different colors to see how it would look in the Misery Marsh, and I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. It still has some splashes of this magenta, also on this Mr. Bones here. But yeah, I'm super happy with how this coaster turned out. I think it was really fun to make. Now, part of the story was also that the Night Stalker would only awaken when an ancient ritual was performed. And that's what you see these guests do here. They're performing the ancient ritual. Basically, these are just space rings, where I've made the rings themselves invisible. But yeah, it was super fun to make this plot, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. Alright, next up is the plot from 94 Supreme Posse. He made this El Loco coaster. So it travels from this big cathedral here, or this church. Yeah, I really like how these windows are done. I'll see inverted cross here. Also this kind of looks like a cube here, also really nicely done. You can see an extra ride over here. Also looks really cool, really nicely decorated. And of course there's this El Loco coaster. There's these single vehicles traveling around. I really like the way these supports are done. This looks really cool. And we can also see this sort of swing ride around this, what looks like a tree. Maybe a little bit too many vehicles, or maybe it could have been a little bit tighter around the tree. But yeah, I still do think it looks really cool. So yeah, I think it's a really nice looking plot from 94 Supreme Posse. Alright, there's just 2 plots remaining. They're also right next to each other. I will first show both of them, and after that I will reveal which one is the winner of this round. First off, there's the plot from Under 23. I will once again use the cutaway view. There we go. Under 23 made some swamp monsters, and yeah, I believe he said in the story that they were actually pretty gentle, even though they sometimes like to take a nibble of this coaster, but of course they have to feed their family. Now I really like that there's 2 of them. Here's a really big swamp monster. I think it's just so cool how Under 23 made this thing. So this big thing is actually a snowball, and a recolorable version of a snowball. And these small things are actually Martian objects, but with some parts invisible. So this invisible color just opens up so many options. I think it's really cool what Under 23 made with these objects. This monster just looks so amazing. I just love how happy and silly it looks. We can also see a small swamp monster here. I think this also looks really cool. Yeah, we can also see his tail over here. Yeah, these swamp monsters just look incredible. But there's also a really nice coaster on this plot. We have this Eurofighter coaster. Over here's the station. Here's the big vertical lift hill. After that, there's just a flurry of inversions. And yeah, it basically just covers the entire plot. And over here it also travels through the mouth of the monster with yet another inversion. But yeah, I think this is an amazing plot. Once again, Under 23 just doesn't disappoint. I think this just looks amazing. Okay, and here's the final plot. This is the plot from the Brew. And the Brew also never disappoints. I think this coaster that he made here looks amazing. It's one of those vertical drop roller coasters. Now first let's just admire this support structure here. This looks incredible with this observation tower supports. Also looks like some diagonal track over here. Yeah, it's just incredible what he put together here. I quite like the layout for this dive coaster. It dives down here, goes through this inversion, and then there's the brake section, and then over here there's another vertical drop. And then finally after that, over here it returns back to the station. But yeah, the ruins here look incredible, pretty well preserved actually. I don't think we can actually call it ruins. Let's call it a temple. Yeah, structure here is amazing. Also love that we can look inside here. The evil beast. This guy is called Beast Food. Pretty nice detail. We could also see some stuff jumping from the swamp here. Brew blobs. And there's also this launch tree fall. Now the Brew also wanted to have a pop of a different color, so he also added some purplish blue over here for some of these other stuff here. I think personally with some more black maybe it would have looked better. But still, I do quite like to also have a pop of a different color. Yeah, I think it's a really nice looking entry from the Brew, and yeah, it actually looks really clean. Alright, I now have both possible winners on my screen, and now it's time to reveal which one of these last 2 entries is the winner of this round. Is it the Swamp Monster from Under 23? Or is it the Temple from the Brew? And the winner of multiplayer round 65 is... Under 23. Now, this was actually also my favorite entry, so I'm happy that it won. But the brew put up a great fight, and his plot was also incredible. Yeah, for me personally, I think this was a really fun round, and I really enjoyed all the entries that people put together here. And it actually got me quite inspired for the stuff that I will build in the Misery Marsh in the actual Imagination Megapark in the future. Okay, a new round will start soon. If you want to join, just become a member on my Discord server, and trusted members can also join one of these multiplayer rounds. Alright, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you liked this video, please consider giving it a like. It would really help out my channel. And I think we can finish this video with a ride on the Swamp Monster coaster from Under 23. Alright, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you again in the next one. See you later.